Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls and children wherever you are in the world as well. Welcome to Apex Online Racing. My name is Evil Dragon ASXL, and today we're at the famous Hockenheimring, the circuit that's been prestiged and changed a lot since its inception back in the 1920s and 30s. The circuit we currently see now lies beautifully around the old area and also some new as well. First constructed in 2001, this new circuit got rid of the old flowing trees and forest section down at the old notch curve into what we now see, a flowing, difficult little circuit with a lot of flowing corners, a lot of stop-start sections. So we're going to be pondering who's going to be going off the road, who's going to be making mistakes. Now, only me in the commentary box today as per usual. Now, announcement to make, we will have a full commentary for the Elite Tier next season with the upcoming Milderman joining me in the box as well. I do have a Vector on the circuit somewhere. He maybe will be jumping in and out depending on what happens after the races begin and end. So we'll be seeing what he can do as well. If he crashes, remember, it's not going to go well. He's going for P4 in the championship right now, mathematically possible. Ethan, of course, VSR Thomas Ethan, going for P1. So that'll be interesting to see what they can do inside of the standings in terms of the championship. All will be foreseen in due course though, as Ethan comes through Mobile 1 and down into the Schatz curve. Now, we've seen a few cars go off here, not pointing fingers at a Red 5 car flying off the road there. And Red 5 would not be standing by on that occasion. Then number 27 there, Ethan, getting a little bit caught up behind a few cars there. That, I believe, might be his teammate there as well. So let's go on a quick onboard lap then around this beautiful circuit then with Ethan. Across the start line. Now you come down towards turn 1. Leads a tricky little corner, normally flat on some cars, and these cars you want to be careful not to ride that curb on the outside. Easy to chuck that car off into the wall as well. Now you come down the hill, down towards what is the Enfield Parabolica then. And that's where the old circuit used to go off to the left. Now you chuck it into this little double right-hander down towards the Parabolica. They nicked it from Monza and have stretched it as far as they can. Down the straight, you build up most of the speed you can do then, up to about 220 kilometers an hour, if or take then, before you chuck it down into the splits curve then. Now this corner, of course, used to be where the former center chicane used to be there on the left, but of course, since the old circuit was ripped up, they ripped the center chicane up as well. Now you're coming into the Mercedes Grandstand Arena. This tricky little right-hander as well has seen some beautiful overtakes. Downhill going straight, of course, that's a drag straight there as well. Come down to the Mercedes Arena. Watch the crowd roar if you have a car that is a Mercedes, otherwise they might not roar. Now, exit over there, and then down towards where we saw Mika Häkkinen survive a spectacular shunt in 2001. Chuck it down here into the Mobile Run curve then. You want to make sure you don't run the car too wide, because that gravel trap will bite you as well, as a few drivers have found out in the past. Now coming down to the Schatz curve. What's out for the left? Cambering corner as well. Easy to keep a lot of speed through there. Now coming out of that down towards the last two corners then. And you want to watch that here into the side curve as well. This famous massive grass out on the left. Absolutely phenomenal to see. And then to the line past the beautiful giant tank up on the right, and Ethan will go. And the PE up to P4 there for Ethan then. So good lap for the young Englishman there. So far, John Etlow up on pole position. He is the man on a mission. Potential for a championship here today. Archel in P2. Limbs in P3. Kaiser in P4. Now Ethan down to P5. Vectro, good P6 so far. There's, oh my dear God, someone's gone off in the wall there. Now who was that? That must have been possibly one of the back markers. Hard to say who that was, but someone hit with high velocity there. JL Lockhead down into turn 1 right now. He's currently put himself P7 on the grid. So good lap for him there, as Cam beats him actually there. Cam that up to P7 there. 4 seconds, mind, off the pace of the leader. This circuit, remember, is up. It is about, 2.842 miles or 4.574 kilometers. So they're going to be pushing the cars very hard. It's a 20-minute sprint race, remember, as well for these drivers. So they want to be getting themselves on course for some excitement. Remember, 30-minute feature, 20-minute sprint. Remember, of course, that's the exciting bit. And, of course, a 15-minute qualifying session as well. So you're really driving as much qualifying as you are in some of the races. It's rather a lot, in my opinion. They should cut it down ever so slightly, even down into P5 right now. His teammate Skull coming through the exit of the Schatz curve right now. down towards the last 2 corners. You want to be careful here. Not to run too wide, not to overcook the car. Easy to spin out on the rear end. These radicals, very difficult as well. Come to the line and let's see what can Scold do. Then that's Wolf just crossing the line, I think just ahead of him. Scold chucks himself then, doesn't improve a lap has he, so he needs to be getting on one soon. There is Wolf, his actual, Ethan's teammate actually coming through the back of the circuit right now. So let's see what he can do in due course. But it's Jornet right now and Paul from OS Limmers in P2, EPR Racing Archil in P3. Vector a fantastic P4, mind low. So he's doing good as actually he goes down to P5 as that goes Big Kid Daddy up to P3. Improving all the time, these drivers are. Remember, GD3 starts next week if I'm not mistaken, just in due course, next 2-3 weeks. So get excited for that one. VSR Thomas Ethan 2001 as it used to be called that. Now just VSR Thomas Ethan down there in P6, lingering behind Vector. Then we've got Kaiser. He's coming through the last corner. I expect he'll be coming in the pit lane, or maybe he's on a bit of a slower lap right now. Let's see what he can do then through the last corners with 8 minutes to go in qualification. Here comes Kaiser across the line. Now, does he improve? No, he's a bit slow on that lap then, so he's going to go for another quick one. Wolf in P8 right now as well, so good lap for Wolf. Now looks all the eyes on Scold and see what he's doing, because he's the last driver to cross the line. Kigma comes through the last corner. Let's see if he can improve then in his radical. Does improve there. He's P14, stays P14 though, but did improve by 2 seconds. But he is 6.4 off the pace. And he's found another 2 seconds really to get himself into that 12th, 13th, 14th window there. What about people who were going backwards though? Scody needs to get a lap on them. The number 8. Let's see what he can do there. Down into the last 2 corners. Let's see what Scott can do. He's from near enough Birmingham. Let's see what he can do then. Through the last corner. What's that rear end slider on the exit? Now to the line. Let's see. Can he get the car off the back row of the grid? With 7 minutes to go. Goes P6. Then beats his fellow comrade Ethan then. So he's going to be going on for a thing that actually no. Ethan goes says, no, I'll have that bank, Sonny Jim. And takes P6 straight out the bag then. So impressive lap from him. Scold there in P7 right now. So he's going to be going to do a lap again, try and beat him. Vecto in P5 there, just improved by an ever so slight. Remember, Ethan and Scott, 20 thousandths between them there, incredibly close there. Skull going up a little bit, but Kid Daddy exits of the pit lane. The top guys, by the way, we've got Archil, Jornet, they're separated by a very small margin, Lim as well. And then we got Vectro, Ethan, Skull, then Kaiser, then Wolf. He's coming from the last corner. Let's see what he can do. Slides the radical out then to the line. Let's see what can he do. Can he improve? Does improve only by 3 tenths. Puts him just behind Kaiser then. So Kaiser under a bit of pressure right now as Kaiser crosses the line. Then improved by 6 tenths. Puts him up to P4 then. So good lap from Kaiser. That's Big Kid Daddy then into the hairpin at the top of the circuit. He's building up for his lap right now as well. There's quite all the drivers getting ready to go then. Back coming through the back of the circuit, and that is the Schatz curb. The number 2 then, and he's a driver that wants to be going for the glory through the last couple of the corners. Let's see, can Bax get himself up from 11th position? He really wants to be trying to get himself around 8th. That's his target right now then. Comes across the line, goes to only 10th right now, so does improve, puts kind of down a little bit, and JR as well a little bit further down. We've got a few cars building up to the end of their lap then. So let's have a look at Ethan then through the last corner. See what he can do then. He wants to try and beat Vectro if he can then through the last corner. Can Ethan beat anyone? Goes up 3 tenths up to P4. What can Skull go? Can he improve across the line? Doesn't. 8 seconds down actually. So he had a bad lap there, but Ethan crucially up to P4 right now there. So a good lap for him then. The background you can see, I think that might be Vectro crosses the line. He's currently in P7. So no improvement for him. What can Wolf do? He's coming down to the back of the circuit as well. Meanwhile, EPR Racing Archil only 2 tenths off the pole time right now. So good a lap for him. He's got them all caught up there. The number 5, I think that is. Red 5 all caught up in a lot of traffic there. And I have to say that, I don't know who that is. It might be Kigma then, so the new guy getting himself in a bit of trouble. Wolf crosses the line, improves by 2 tenths, puts himself a bit more closer right now to Scold. So Wolf already improving, back through the last corner, kinda crosses the line. Let's see what he can do. Down a little bit there. Kigma down the back. Geo right now in P15, 5 seconds, mind, off the pace of the guys in front. So they'll be wanting to get themselves on for a good lap very shortly, because being caught out on this race, especially in the feature race, it can be costly for these drivers, especially for those who are really struggling as well. But right now, Jornet, he's currently in the pit lane. He's currently P1. He comes back out on the circuit right now. Now, this circuit as well, I do have to mind, 1932 it was developed. Now, the old circuit used to be more of a triangle, taking around such corners as the Shout Curve, the Cunning Blends, down to the Osverheide, down the massive 2 kilometers straight as well. It was a 7.8485 mile circuit as well, a 12.0 kilometer circuit. That was changed all, of course, in 1938 when the more current layout we see today, of course, was developed. That circuit being, well, used to be the old runoff areas, especially down turn 1 and 2, down that massive famous forest section. It was almost a sprint down there as John Aiken losing the rear end. The circuit would change to its more, well, the more circuit you see today in 1966, of course, with the North curve being added, as well as the Os curve, the famous Os curve, that brilliant, almost flat right-hand kink almost, where you can catch the car as well. The circuit at that point was a 6.7 kilometer circuit, and changed a little bit, of course, over the time. She came to added after Jim Clark's death, and then more famously in 2002, the circuit, of course, redeveloped to what we see today by Herman Tilke, one of his first real circuits to redevelop. So it was a circuit that has a lot of prestige in Formula 1 as well as DTM as well. Fiery little vehicles chucked around this circuit as well, especially the old one as well. I always remember, I think GT1 used to race around here as well. Beautiful stuff to see, and I do mind, by the way, on this game, if you have it, do go and try out the old Hockenheimring. It's a blast to remember down those long straights into the first and second chicane there, as I get a massive bump of voice there. Archie in the chat saying he couldn't race. And it's Archie, not Archill, because Archill's there. He's currently in P2 right now. So a few drivers getting themselves caught up in traffic right now. Archill is currently caught in traffic, as well. He's stuck behind one of the slower cars ahead of him, so he wants to be coming through as well. Through the last corner, runs a little bit wide there. Power sliding his way through the last corner. He wants to get himself up on to pole position right now. The question is, can he do it? And he's got 2 minutes to go, and being stuck behind traffic like this right now is not really ideal. I think that might be Camo right there. It's even not. It might be someone else there. I can't exactly see who it is. It might be Limbs then. Yeah, it is Limmer coming down into turn 2, down towards the Parabolica then for what will be their last time, unless they can get one more into it. So it's going to be close for these drivers crossing the line right now. They want to be pushing themselves extremely to the limit. Backs right now, he won't get another lap out. He will just about get another lap out of it, maybe 2 if he's careful. We've got cameras also, he'll be finishing his lap off. Gio, meanwhile, the battle between Kaiser, Ethan as well. So currently Ethan is Scarborough's P3, sulking lap for him. That's his team, and that'll be Wolf just behind him. Either that'll be Vectro then. Yep, it's Vectro currently P8 just ahead of him, mine. So giving each other a nice long tow down the straight, working in tandem there, the two teammates. Vector is trying to get himself up a few positions away. He's going for P4 in the championship, mind. So he really wants to be finishing P4 if he can. He's up by 3 tenths there as Skull gets out of the way of must be Camo then in the background. Camo on a good lap as well. No, it's not Camo, so that must be OSL then. Yep, OSL coming through the last couple of corners for him then. But let's see what Vector can do then through the last couple of corners. Is there goes OS Limbs. I don't think he's been hit, mind, so that's very fortunate for him. Through the last corner comes Vector. 50 seconds on the clock then. Let's see what can the Dutchman do. The Flying Dutchman. Is he going to stay floating or is he going to go skybound? Stays 8 for an hour. So he's staying rather grounded. Kaiser, even through turn 1 as well. He needs to find himself, what, some 4 tenths of a second, mind, to beat his fellow rival Scott. He's doing a fantastic job right now. 6 tenths off the pole time of Archil and John Etlow. So John Et again proving today why he is the driver to look out for this season as well. We're in the final round, the championship all to play for. If John Et wins, as far as I'm aware, he will be champion. Archil, Scold, Limbs as well. Then we got Big Kid Daddy. Then we got Ethan, Kaiser, Vector, Wolf down to turn 1. We got Bax coming through the last circuit. Who will be the next car to cross the line? It's Kinder then. He's got 9 seconds to do it. Crosses the line there. Behind him there, I think that might be Kigman. Crosses the line. 4 seconds down. He's going to try and get another lap on. He is 1 second slower than Gio right now. Disappointment for him. Gets way up on those cars right now. So he wants to go for 1 last lap. Kind of backed off his lap then, so he's happy with it. As well as J Lockhead. So Lee's drivers all happy with their lap then. Who's going to be the next car? John across the line. Does he improve? Yes, he does. Up a few tenths of a second then. So he's up down there. Kaiser coming through the last corner as well. Let's see what can Kaiser do. Crosses the line. Let's see, can he get his car up on that front row? He's currently P7, goes P3, puts him on the second row of the grid. What can Ethan do? Now he's coming through the last corner then. Let's see, what can he do? Can he do it? Through the last corner, wants to be careful. Doesn't want to lose the rear, wants to be careful. Now, comes to the line. Can Ethan get himself off from P7 on the grid? Puts him only P6 right now, so that's not going to be what he wanted. Scolds back off his lap. What can Vector do? He's all out of shape. Only P8 for him then. Wolf, he's up as well. He's up by a tenth or two. So this should be an improvement. It's not going to be enough for Lowe to put himself on the front row. He's going to be the last driver, I think, to cross the line, because there's Gio coming through the last corner then. So Gio will be the first guy to cross the line then of these two, and the last of these two as well. Let's see what Gio do. He's on the back row of the grid. Can he improve? Doesn't do so, so he stays P14. Wolf wide, and that's going to invalidate his lap there, and you can see he's angry. Into the wall, now out. So, on pole position then, it's Jornet from Archhill, Kaiser, Scald, Limbs, Ethan, Big Kid Daddy. Then we've got Vectro as well. So Vectro, a fine P8 for him right now, but that's not where he's going to be wanting. He's been a bit frustrated with that one. Behind them, Wolf, back. Then we got Kinda, JR, Camo, Geo, Kigma is at the back. And now we wait for just a few moments' time before we get ready to go for the actual race then. Remember, I think it's the 20-minute one first. Before, as well, remember, great start for these drivers. So, a 19-minute race, remember, 19 minutes, probably 18 minutes, 50. Depends on how quickly they all ready up. Jornet on the right, Archer on the left. So Archer's really going to have the best start here out of all the drivers. So I'm going to look out for him. What's out for Kaiser and Scold on that second row? It's going to be important there. Limbs and Ethan as well on that third row. Big Kid Daddy and Vettel on the fourth. Wolf and Bax on the fifth. Kinda, JR on the sixth. Camo and Geo on the seventh. And Kigma right down the back, or Kingma, so I say, at the back of the grid. 5 seconds off the pace of these guys. Remember, this circuit, the longest of the season. 34 litres in all the drivers' tanks. Remember, we'll have one little action go on then, so we should be getting ready to go right now then. So, I'm getting ready, or the drivers should be getting ready as well. And here we go then. It's going to be Jornet versus Archel down towards turn number 1 then. So let's see. With the 5 lights are on, 1 light, 2 light, 3 light. When they go off, they will begin. And it is lights out, away we go. 1, 2 cars jumped off the grid then straight away. But it's a good start from APR Racing Archel then. They shoot down towards turn number 1. Is everyone going to go through cleanly then? Through goes Archel into the lead then. As everyone bumps himself up into turn 1, down towards turn 2 then. And everyone's got away clean. That's the important stuff. Ethan up to P4 right now then. Scold up to P2. And good start for him. Is going backwards is John Ebb right now. Goes wide. But crucially, everyone good off the start. No spinners, no drama. But crucially, EPR Racing Archhill leads the pack then from Scold. Ethan battling an hour with John Ed as they come down towards the parabolical and down towards the hairpin. 3 by 3 then. Down they come. Let's see, John Ed have the inside of all of them. Let's see, he's going to try and then move. Scold on the inside. I think that was Ethan. It's all getting messy and John Ed leads. And oh my goodness, there's a huge drama on the back there. What's going on there? 1, 2 cars off. That's Vector. That is Vector. We've got cars off in the background. And that there must have been Vector. Big Kid Daddy involved there. So Vector's got T-boned. Or something's gone off down there because there was a car spinning. Backs, I think, has got damaged as well as they're all bunching up down towards the hairpin. We feared this could happen. 1 car off there. That must be kind of off the road. Yes, it is. And Scold leads from Archio, from Ethan. Jornet's in P4 right now, so Scold's pulled it off. Beautiful start for him. And that there is the start he wanted from the beginning of this race. Archio, Ethan, now he's battling away with Jornet. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose position, but he's losing the position as Jornet through. Ethan at the inside line, but somehow Jornet finds the grip and finds the pace, holds around the outside. Good stuff for them, as off goes. I think that must be, is that Archer making a mistake? Yes, it is. He makes a mistake, and now Jornet up to P2 now. Is now down to P4. Goes Archer, and all of a sudden, Ethan, Jornet and Scott find themselves in this position right now where they are leading 1, 2 and 3 in this race. I was not expecting Scott to be leading right now. Locks up massively into the first 2 corners there, a little bit there. Now he's under pressure from Jornet. He's going to get a mega one down this straight. And remember, this is more of a curve, so his Scott could crash down here because it's a curve. He'll cover him off a little bit right now. Now he does so, force him to the outside. I would have done that. I'd force him to the inside right now and then really had the opportunity to squeeze, and now he's going to lose the position because Jornet's going to come through then. So no way can Scott hold the position. He'll try around the outside, but he gets collected. Fair enough, actually. He's still there. Scott's still there. Now he holds the position. Jornet got a bad exit then. So fair play to Scott then. Holds that position there. Vector up to P10 now. So he's starting to make positions from that mistake earlier on. As Jornet trying to pressurize, going up the inside, thinks about it, up the inside, Skull gives him the space, now he squeezes him wide, squeezes him once and he's through into the lead of the German Grand Prix, when it matters, and that there is the crucial thing. He's now leading on that 2, here in Germany. Skull now ahead of Ethan, ahead of Archil. Wolf there, good start for him, he's up to P5, made a few positions there, he's come down to the Scats curve, Limbs there in P6, JR, backs. And then we got Vector there, battling away. He's down in P10, drawing on the outside there of Kaiser. I must say, he made a terrible start and spins it! And it's gone wrong. It's gone from bad to worse for the Kaiser. I was about to say he's going backwards, and now he's going further backwards as he makes a mistake. And that there is crucial. And now we have another car. That's Ethan. He's gone off. What's happened to him? All these drivers are dropping off the road right now. And we have issues for everyone. They're making mistakes. As now there goes OS Limbs off the road. What's going on here then? Few drivers making mistakes. Wolf up to P4. Now challenging P3 around the outside of Ardshill. And Happy Brave. That's Scold. My apologies. Actually, they're battling together there. So Scold, Ethan, and Wolf will battle together. Now we saw this just 7 days ago in Donington Park. And we saw how that ended. Now let's see today what they can do. Down the straight, and they're all going to tow each other there. Now, the inside there, I think goes Scold, or that might be Wolf up the inside, I think it is. The 2 teammate cars, Wolf goes deep, and uses 1, you'll lose 2 positions. Ethan runs wide, you'll get a slow down penalty there, potentially. So, maybe a possibility for Scold to come back as well as a Wolf. So, it's Wolf, Ethan, Scold. That is the order right now for P3, 4 and 5. Ardshill now challenging after Jornet. These guys will pull now 2-second advantage on these guys already. Starting to open up OS Limbs there, drop back. Then we've got a car going slowly. Now who's that going a bit slowly? That's JR going slowly. Vectro now to P8 in this race. Storming pace for the Dutchman. Coming through the field now. And side by side there, JR battling away a big Kid Daddy. Goes up the inside. Forces him wide. Now you get the position done there. Easy do. Can he get on the corner though? Down towards the Scats curve. They'll be careful. And through at the crucial time. And that there is of course the opportunity there up the inside around the outside today into Mobile 1. And he had to pull that off. He was crucial for his race, and there needs to be no problems. That's the crucial thing. No problems are needed here for these drivers. Scold runs a bit wide. That's not going to be ideal. They must be careful. And now here comes Ethan. Here comes his teammate Wolf through. And that there is a troublesome time for Wolf. He's going to be up the inside, get past Skull. He's going backwards, runs into the back of him. And behind them, OS Limbs is catching us on. These guys are going to have a 4-way scrap on their hand in a minute. Skull now coming back at Wolf. He's forced to go defensive. Down the straight, down towards the parabola, cut down towards the hairpin then. And let's see, can he hold the line then? So, side by side, down towards the braking zone. And let's see, Wolf will have the inside line. He'll run himself deep, he'll run into the side of him. That's a bit clumsy there. And that allows OS Limbs through as Wolf and Scold colliding together there. And Scold and Wolf, I think Wolf gets back out of the way there. So he's realised the error. Side by side, however, down towards the corner. So, Scold and Wolf still battling together. And I think Wolf might be a little bit under caution there. He was a bit of a rash move, I must say, that on the brakes. And I think Scott's not going to be very happy with that one at all. So, those two having a few issues there. Ethan down in, and there off goes Wolf. I think Scott actually running wide. Now, he's had internet issues this whole season. Let's hope for him he gets one race at least done. I think he might have damage or something because he is got no control behind the Vectro's corner massively as well. So Vectro catching with all of Alton's steam, but right now Jornet leads this race. He's currently going miles quicker. His last lap a 1:40.8. Compare that to a 1:40.9, so he's about a tenth or two quicker than the racing cars behind. But everyone else, they're in the 140s, the late 40s as well. And into the 141s, 142s, 143s as well. Kaiser in the pit lane meanwhile, so he's gone from bad to worse for him. And that is not ideal. Kingmar going a bit wild into the last corner. He's 28 seconds off the pace. Remember, that is legitly off the pace, unless he's made a mistake somewhere. It'd be very shocking if he did. Oh, his limbs is caught right up to Ethan right now. Last lap 1:40.8. He is currently the quickest driver on the circuit, I believe. Yes, he is currently on that lap. So, OS Limbs right now going to be challenging Ethan right now for P3. Ethan's struggling a little bit right now with the brakes, so he's definitely under pressure. OS Limbs right now, he wants to be getting a move on as soon as he can. And it's crucial, it's imperative he does make these moves early on in the race, because if he doesn't, he's going to get stuck behind these cars as well. And being stuck behind is not good as they come down towards the Mercedes little grandstand, or you might call it that, due to the popularity of Mercedes, of course. That area was built due as well. Of course, it's almost like the other Mercedes arena as well as in the Nürburgring, the GPF layout, of course, and looks like the 24-hour layout as well uses that. But more famously, of course, you know it, of course, for the GP layout. It's last hosted a race a long time ago, some about 5-6 years ago in Formula 1. Not really used too much in any other thing, of course. It does host Blancpain, if I'm not mistaken, the VLN races there as well. Limbs reminder that there's been a 20-second time penalty there, and that has ruined his race. I believe that must be Cam as well, got a 20-second. Yes, he is. So Limbs' race right now, he will be down, what is it, P12, P13, so he really must be getting these moves on now. Meanwhile, behind them there, Skull challenging Wolf. I think Wolf had a penalty there, so those two switch positions there, and Wolf now down to P6 in this race. Dropping backwards a little bit right now is Skull ahead of him there, and here comes OS Limbs right now. I think Ethan probably knows more than anyone right now that Limbs has got that penalty. He does not want to fight him too much. In fact, it's probably good actually if he lets him go. Let him challenge onto these guys ahead, because remember, if Limbs at the pace he's got right now can go through and challenge and push ahead and battle these guys ahead, who knows, they could have contact, they could have a mistake, of course. Ethan does not want to lose a position here because of silly driving, silly contact with a car with a penalty. So it's up to him if he lets him through. Meanwhile, Skull and Wolf battling together behind them as well. We got a kind of battling away of Camo, and that is JR ahead of them as well. Apart from that, Phil Crow spread out right now. Big Kid Daddy behind Vector by a couple of tenths as well, 1.2 seconds. So the field extremely spread out already in this race. So you've got to wonder what could be happening before the end of this race. Are we going to see some girls go off? Are we going to see some excitement? We saw a bit of contact down towards the hairpin on the first lap. So anything could happen. We've got 9 minutes to go in this race, so half it already gone, with half it still to go here. So we should have a 14-15 lap race, give or take, then in this race. So it should be a 20 lap race, of course, for the feature race. That happens in due course, remember, with the reverse grid. So Jornet right now should be starting last, and Kaiser should be starting first. Even right now, he's still P3 in this race. He's coming to the final of the season. OS Limbs as well. He's challenging a little bit right now. He wants to get this move on as soon as he can. But Ethan, fair play to him. He's holding the door. And all this is allowing these guys up ahead to pull away right now. And as they battle, they're losing each other time. They're losing each other the pace. So you've got to start questioning the morals of, do you let him through because he's quicker right there? Last lap of 142, a tenth quicker. He has a look up the inside. Ethan runs deep. He runs locks up there and through. Battling through there, OS Limbs gets a position there, a bit of contact on the exit. Now side by side, Ethan swerves across and then swerves back again. He is an aggressive driver sometimes in this race. He does not want to get that position through right now. OS Limbs there, he had the opportunity and he's going to ram into the back of him. He does hit him there slightly there, and I think that might have been a little bit of a, what did you do? He moved across on me there, very aggressively there, and gotta say, I don't know how positioned ahead he was there, but And then the rise up, these two drivers are going to battle on it. On board we go then with OS Limbs, and they are battling. Meanwhile, top two, only 1.4 seconds separate them there, so they're incredibly close. And that is important. Vector, Big Kid Daddy there, battling together. Backs JR, and here is Camo as well. Camo trying to come through there and pass JR then, so let's see where he can make the move. It's difficult this circuit. Oh, well, he's going to make the move there then, because off goes JR as he hit the wall. I think he gets away with it. Yes, he does. Very fortunate. Let's be careful rejoining. What's out, kinda? What's out, the cars behind? They should get through. I think he'll be just behind. So Gio should come out there. So he gets back going then. So very fortunate as Archer gets himself a penalty there, and that should be, yeah, 1 second there for him. Not ideal. On board now with OS Limbs. Ethan also with a penalty now. So a 1 second for Ethan, a 1 second for Archer. OS Limbs with a 20-second penalty as well. Now let's see down there this straight. This is the crucial thing. Let's see, is OS Limbs close enough to make an opportunity to the braking zone then? He's been very good on the braking zone. Is he going to go for it? He thinks about it there. Ethan slightly covers him off there a little bit. Does not allow him to try and get any speed there. And now you see Ethan there slightly pull across a little bit there to give him no opportunity there. But Ethan there, fair play, he's holding his line. He's giving himself that one opportunity to move. OS Limbs right now, Ethan's going to have to cover the inside ever so slightly, because I think he might have a look there. He moves a little bit late right now. He's going to go deep. And now OS Limbs can try and get the exit speed if he can do it. Up the hill, down towards Mobile 1. Nowhere through here, though. Because remember, this is a tricky technical section where you have to go stop and start. And this is where these drivers are required to do their best in these slower areas of the circuit, where there is no opportunity, as OS Limbs a little bit off the road there as well for good measure. Struggling as well. Scold, Wolf batting together. Vectro there closing up as well as Big Kid Daddy right south. So these drivers starting to close up bit by bit, but it's the battle right now for P1 and 2 that potentially is brewing, and 3, 4, 5th, 6th and 7th, and also 8th as well. So 5th down to 8th, all very close together. Behind them as well, we've got back to 23 seconds. Then a big gap down to Cam as well. And then they all just start to segregate as well. We got JR, Gio and Kinda down the back there, all very, very close together as well. Right now we're keeping an eye on this battle now between these two drivers. That is Ethan and OS Limbs. And OS Limbs, right now, with the slipstream, they're within 0.3 of a second. So this is where Ethan will cover off the inside right now, ever so slightly. And now we're on the outside because OS Limbs, he won't do it here, surely. We'll have to try the cut back. Ethan will know about it. And now he'll aggressively put that block on if he can. But I think he's just about through then, side by side. Let's see. Can he get the inside line? Ethan will cover him, but not enough. Here we go then, side by side. Ethan tries to swerve a little bit there. Who's to the rear end? Now he'll squeeze him out wide a little bit there, then. And OS Limbs can't make the move there. And Ethan there would have been a little bit nervous about seeing a car go side by side of him. He's seen what can happen there before. He's no stranger to love. He's no stranger to cars making mistakes. Meanwhile, behind them, Wolf battling away with Scold right now. The two teammates. Scold going around the outside. Can he do it? No, Scold can't do it. They're side by side. Squeeze each other off the road a little bit right now. Scold behind his fellow rival Wolf there. And Wolf gets a position. Beautiful job there, by the way. Down the inside into Mobile 1. Don't have to see an overtake around there, so we've got a beautiful exit, I must say. These two drivers up front, though, getting closer together as well as the battle for the lead. 1 second between them. Second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, all battling together right now in their separate battles, all 2 by 2 by 2. In the road battle as well, all separated by some 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds as well. Ethan, a bit of a lock up right now into the corner. And really, if you're OS Limbs right now, you want to be within about 0.2 of a second to make the opportunity, especially down this straight. We've got 4 minutes to go in qualification. Well, sorry, into this sprint race, or I say. It's almost as long as a qualification, and now we've got to see where can OS Limbs try and make the move. The best opportunity really is to try and dive up the inside into the hairpin, because look at the speed he gets, look at the exit speed as well. He closes right up on Ethan. Ethan is not comfortable whatsoever down there as well. As side by side again is Wolf and Scold. These two still going together as well. Behind them, Vector and Big Kid Daddy as well catching. So Vector right now is still trying for 4th in the championship, but it's looking bleaker and bleaker as time goes on. Skull trying and goes wide onto the grass. Locked himself up behind now. Vector goes off as well slightly. But Vector catches right up on his teammate Skull. I think Skull right now, he could let Vector go past, but I doubt he will. So they're going to have to fight each other right now. But Vector and Skull goes off. So whatever mind, I mentioned he might try and let him through, but he goes off the road anyway. So read my thoughts and goes off the road. OS Lim still trying to catch up to Ethan right now for P4 and 3. And these two are going to battle to the end of this race, I feel, then, with 2 minutes to go. That is 2 laps, remember, as well, because, of course, once time runs out, you will be finishing this race. Look at the speed OS Lim's got through turn 1. He's got a beautiful exit right now, down towards the second corner. Again, too far back to make the move. He needs to be within 0.3 of a second to get the opportunity to come through. He's only just on the rough of it, 0.4 of a second. He's not close enough to make the dive. He needs to be 0.3 to really have an opportunity down on those brakes to come up the inside. So, let's see. Can this time? He's a little bit further back than I think he could be right now. So, potential overtake might be on the cards. But let's keep an eye on as he comes down towards the hairpin. Is he going to think about the move? Nope, doesn't do so. Runs a bit deeper. As he even runs deeper. And through he comes. Squeezes him wide there. And that was always opportunity there. Ethan will come back at him. He's not going to be happy with it. And now into the slipstream. Ethan will dive back up the inside then. He ran wide and he gave the opportunity to OS Lims. Now he's going to dive back up the inside, I think. Then in frustration, yeah, he goes for it. And he's going to turn right. OS Lims gets contact. I think he let him through as well. And Ethan there. Good play between them. He let him through on the exit. Now, Wolf, Vectro, Skulls, Big Kid Daddy. They are P3, 4 and 5 right now in this battle for P1 and 2. Now 7 attempts as well. Remember, a penalty for Archil, a penalty for Ethan, a Limbs with a penalty. Wolf, a Vector with a penalty as well. Mind, a 1 second time penalty for him. That's not going to be good in his battle for the 5th position. And we've put him down there. Skull down in P8 right now. He's dropping back rather a lot in this race. 1 minute to go before the end of the feature race. Well, the sprint race, I say, but then we got the feature race afterwards. OS Lim still trying to battle away with Ethan on the curb. That's not going to be good. He's going to get a penalty now. He'll have to cover the inside line. He'll have to cover it. He'll go around the outside. Can he do it then? Long way round. Hard to do it. Now he have to try and get the cut back now. He wants to just sit behind if I was him right now. Get the toe down the straight. This is the best opportunity you've got, Sonny Jim. You won't get through either way because of the penalty, but this is the best chance you will get in this race to get through then. And prove a point to Ethan that I'm going to be challenging the best he can then. Ethan will come to the inside. Now his opportunity. He could have had the inside line. Now switch to the outside. Ethan will run himself deep. They'll run himself right. He'll force him off the road if he can. Bang! Contact. Now they come down the straight then. Ethan slightly behind. He flashes the light. Move out of the way. I'm going to come through, Sonny Jim. He's going to go side by side down towards the hill. But I think still OS Lims will have the inside line here. He'll squeeze him wide if he has the opportunity. But Ethan's going to still stay there. Now he gives him the edge. Ethan's still there. Contact. He forced him a little bit wide. Ethan turned a little bit there onto the corner there. A little bit of contact. But nothing good they do. Contact was made. Ethan and Lims collide there a little bit. But they get away with it. Through the last corner, look, Archil caught massively as they come to the line with a penalty. But John Head's still going to win though, despite the penalty, as EPR Archil P2 and slides through turn 1 there. Ethan is going to finish P3 in this race, mind you on the penalties as well, due to as well OS Lims with a 20-second penalty. Lims will finish in P8, 9 I think actually in this race there. Wolf just going to finish ahead of Vectra. He's going to drop behind down, probably down to P7. P6 in the end then. Skull P7. Lims is in P8. There's a front wing flying off the car. Bax might get the position as well then. So let's see. Can Bax do it? He should possibly. Let's see. Can he overtake OS Lims or will he do it? Nope. So OS Lims P8 in this race actually. So stuff for loads of drivers as well. So disappointment there. Bax P9. Calmary's going to finish behind. Kinder will finish behind JR, so he'll finish probably down, probably ahead of Kaiser, but so yeah, might finish ahead of Kinder and Kaiser as well. Kigma's very safe. Camo there, he's off the road and towards turn 1 there. He's finished as well, so he's down there in P13. Here comes Kingma and Kaiser to the line. I think Kaiser's just about going to finish in last position in this race. Yes, he does then, so he'll be starting on first for the feature race. So Jornet leads from Archil. Then we got Ethan, Wolf, Dick Kid Daddy. Then we got Vectro, Scald, Limbs, Bax, Kinder, JR, Geo, Camo, Kingma, Kaiser. Remember, that'll be Kaiser and Paul from Kingma. And then we got Camo and then Geo as well. And that'll be your top 4. Starting down the back as well, we have Jornet, Archil, Ethan, Wolf. So that'll be down at the back. And let's see if we can speak to Vector. If he's unmuted his mic potentially, we'll find out in due course. But the question is for all these drivers, what is going to be the feature race? And now I'm going to quickly invite some of the drivers who battled valiantly as well in the a lot of great racing for a lot of these drivers so far as well. And you've got to say, as well as I invite 3 of the drivers that battled so valiantly in the first part of this race, and now we've got the main feature race to begin. As now you can see them there, all in the chat. They're all getting ready to join us, I believe, in due course then. So a lot of excitement in the first race, and now we see there is Mr. Scald. And I think as well the rest of the Devils have joined there. You can see VSR, Ethan, and potentially also Mr. Wolf as well. Now, Ethan had a great scrap with OS Limbs despite that penalty. How was it?
Yeah, it was a fun battle. Obviously, he had a 20-second penalty, but just because he's got a penalty doesn't mean I'm going to stretch my elbows a bit. Yeah, it was a fun battle. In the end, I just don't think I've got the pace to chase the championship, but, you know, I can fight for podiums regardless. Battle was fun, but a bit too much contact from Lemus.
Yeah.
Yeah, causing way too much contact for my liking, to be honest. Bit silly contact, but, you know, it's racing, you know, sometimes you race hard and those things happen, but, yeah, can't really... You know, it's been another podium. Every race so far I've done in this series, bar 1 DNF, I've finished on the podium, so I can't really complain. You know, consistency's there. You know, that's what I like. So, all around pretty decent race. I'm looking forward to race 2.
Yep, Skull, to you as well. Now, how was your race as well?
I had a fun start.
Then you got up to P2 and then dropped down the field a little bit there. What happened?
Yeah. First, I just lost the position to Archer and Jornet. They're just quicker than me. And then a certain someone dived up the inside, lost a bit of time. But then a few minutes to go, a wall magnetised me, forcing me to go off the track, losing 6th or 5th position. I went down to 8th.
Yeah, down battling with Vector as well as went off down to member 1. Just when I said, are you going to position through? No, I doubt you would because they're going to battle and you straight went off the road there. So commentator's curves living up to Pure. And Wolf, as well, you're here as well, I believe, are you not?
Yep.
How was your race, for your perspective? Had a great battle with Vector at the end.
Oh, yeah, we had a really close battle at the end. It got close.
And you're a bit quiet, by the way, Wolf. Could you turn your mic up for the audience?
Yeah, sorry. I can turn it down now.
Yeah, as we get ready to hear from Wolf, as he seems to have had an issue with his mic.
Yeah, right. Okay,
there we go.
Better?
That's better. Right, away if you go then.
Yeah, so that was a close battle at the end. We nearly made contact, I think. It got very close. It was really fun though. Yeah, I don't want it to be that close again because I nearly cracked under that pressure. I'd rather a bit more of a gap next time.
Yeah, of course. If we can hear from Vector, I don't know if he's got us muted or not, but yeah, I heard something. I think that might have been Vector there. If it is Vector, how was the first lap for you? Because you had some contact.
Oh yeah, the first lap. I don't know actually what happened. I was just going through the hairpin like normal, and then I got hit from the side, I think, and then I was on top of another car, and then I got spun around, and I don't actually know what happened there. It happened quite fast.
And rather interesting. So we just caught the end of it on the camera screen. Reminded me of a very particular accident in the red just a few weeks ago in a certain series beginning with the letter W, where a car, well, got on the wet patch and went straight on. Luckily it was in the dry, so no rain. Remember though, 30-minute race, so coming up to all these drivers as well. They'll be starting in reverse. You gotta wonder actually for the likes of Kaiser. He's gonna have a real chance of winning today. Now, because of course started at the back. And due to the contact, he spun, had damage. I don't know what happened to his race, but he went backwards and downhill, so he's starting right at the front as well. Now, these series, to all you drivers as well, to you four, how have you enjoyed it so far compared to the other feeder little races before the main series?
Oh, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, having default setups as well means it's 100% down to the driver. There's no room to be a bit like, you know, mischievous, you know, with your downfalls or whatever. It's fully what you can do with the car, and you've got to adapt. So that makes it really fun, and you know all the pace is genuine as well. I think it's been a really good series, and I think we could do a series like this as a full main series. Whether anyone signs up or not, though, that's a different matter.
To Ethan, how do you find this series compared to others?
Yeah, like Wolf said, it brings out the talented drivers, and I've said this on streams commentating with you, you know, spec racing, using one make cars and default setups, it really brings out the talent of a driver, and it's proved throughout this season. In terms of like for new drivers, I mean, like obviously a lot of new drivers in this series who have like come in like, you know, with no experience, and like they've been plunked in a tier with drivers who have been doing this for a lot longer, and it's a good learning ground for them, I feel. And it's nice, it's almost nice to like know that they kind of look up to the drivers who are a lot faster than them, and like you're just able to communicate with them. Like they've come out just voluntarily, and they've started racing with people they've never raced against, and you know, it's a great community, to be honest. Like this series has just been brilliant. Whether it should be a full-time season, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just down to what drivers want, really. But yeah, as a driver who does, you know, LMP2 and GT3 as you know, often as possible, you know, dialing it down to doing small seasons like this, you know, it's just lets off the steam, and you know, just have a bit of fun instead of taking stuff a little bit serious sometimes. You know, that's how I see it.
Skull, to you, how have you enjoyed this season compared to others?
I haven't had the best results, but I've got to say I've loved the racing.
Yeah, maybe probably because you're disconnected for all of them.
Funny. I haven't crashed.
I haven't crossed in a straight line this season yet, but we still got one more race, Skull. Don't worry, one more to go.
Yeah.
It could all happen.
Right. Don't commentate, Gerson.
No, don't commentate. I've already done that once, so we could do it twice. To Vector as well, have you enjoyed this season so far compared to others?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said before, the racing is really close, really clean, and of course, yeah. Talk about the new drivers. It's also fun. They get to know the racing on higher level.
And well, now for this final race of the season, we always got to say the championship is almost but nearly confirmed, by the way. But anyone can still win it. I don't exactly remember the championship standing off the top of my head, but
You're the champion.
Yeah, most probably the champion's already been decided that. So, Jonette, most likely champion, but we'll find out afterwards, remember. As now we're just getting ready for Big Kid Daddy to get the gridding sorted then. So, remember, it's one of the difficult situations. They do take their time getting ready to go before this thing. They've always got to make sure everything's in the correct order. They've got to type it out bit by bit. It does take a little bit of time, remember, for all these drivers as well. Then we've got this formation app, and this season, I have to say, it's been relatively good on the formation app, unlike some other series as well. They've had a bit of contact here and there, but of course that's always going to happen as well. So there we go, you can see, so Kaiser will start on pole position, then from Kingma, Camo, Geo and GL Lockhead in P3 and 4 then. So that is the field there, the likes of Ethan as well. He'll be starting himself down in the third last position on the grid, so P4 13, if I'm not mistaken. So that'd be exciting as well. And Skull will be starting right in the middle of the pack.
I would like to mention, because of the start time of this race as well, the tyres are going to be very cold at the end of the formation lap, and that's going to make things really interesting. I think there might be a bit of contact with the hairpin and so on. I hope there isn't.
Not again.
But I think that's likely in this race, especially when you've got faster drivers starting at the back wanting to make their way through the field. So it could be quite an action-packed first lap.
Well, as Virgil said, he's hoping, for the love of God, there isn't contact down to turn 1 because he doesn't want to end up backwards through turn 1 and 2 as well. And you've got to wonder as well, turn 1 and 2, it's a quick little right-hand kink as well, the Knots curve if I'm not mistaken. And you want to be careful as well because you've seen cars go off there in GT racing, you've seen it go off in open wheel racing as well. So it's a difficult corner as well. You just want to make sure these drivers make contact. Surprisingly, no one really had contact in turn 1. There's a bit of bunching up, but everyone got away clean. It was always down towards that hairpin where trouble can begin, especially because it is, if not the tightest corner in motorsport, the speed they carry down towards that hairpin, if I'm not mistaken. But let's get ready then for all our drivers in just 10 years, whenever Big Kid Daddy decides we're going. We'll be going.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna get ready to race again. Hopefully it will be a good race to watch, and wish me luck and everyone else.
I know. Well, good luck to Vectors. Here we go then. The 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1, and then we go back into it. So let's see what can happen for all our drivers today. Then, are we going to see some crashes again? Are we going to see someone forget to brake? Is Skull going to drive in a straight line and crash? Who knows what can happen? Anything can happen here in AOR, and as I usually say, it very much always does when I say it doesn't. So, let's see. Now you can see the giant Mercedes grandstand there, but how you know it's a Mercedes grandstand? Because it's got a giant Mercedes logo on it, and it says Mercedes-Benz. Who knew? As that corner as well. Mobile 1, also a famous little corner as well. We saw some great battling in the sprint race of Skull passing a few people there, passing Wolf, Wolf past Skull. It was a great scrap throughout the field as well. So what we're going to see today as well, especially the little kink after the centre chicane, we saw quite a little scrap as well. A few of the drivers, Ethan, battling hard with OS limbs, and you've got to wonder, is there going to be contact down there for one of these drivers as well, especially if they're not as high caliber, as I said, a little bit less experienced going side by side. There's always a possibility. I've seen some spectacular exits down into that corner before. Hopefully I don't see another one, because it's terrifying and you end up dying. So remember, now we're getting ready to go the formation lap. It is a very dark circuit, so these tyres, like Wolf mentioned, I was talking to him earlier, it's a dark circuit. It's always dusk, almost night, so I say. There you can see the giant lubricant can that sits on the top of the circuit. I hope it doesn't spill, because that'll be a lot of lubricant all over the floor, and that will not be a good cleanup. But hopefully it's empty. I presume it is. It'll be probably full of water. But let's go then for the formation lap. Then remember, they'll all wait 5 seconds. The question is, will they wait the 5 seconds? That's always the question when you do these, because some of these times they do get a bit excited down the back, and then they go flying off the grid, and sometimes, unfortunately, there's contact. But I believe today they all probably know, as well as we do, that 5 seconds, then you can go racing off the line. Remember, formation lap, stick their speed to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 120 kilometers. But we'll find out then. So here we go then. We'll wait the 5 seconds, and we'll see all the drivers check themselves off the grid then, and let's see what can happen. Then we wait 5 seconds. On board we can see then, and they board up the revs on board of Ethan, and then away they go on their formation lap then. And this is where all the drivers get themselves sorted, themselves in a position. So Kaiser will lead from King Mutt, then from Gio, then it will be JR, I believe then. So Gio, then JR, and then the rules can decide where they want to fiddle themselves in then, already off the start. They've all got themselves in position, and now comes the weaving. Skull wants to warm these tyres up as quick as they can, because remember, they're going to be stone cold at the beginning of this race, especially because the formation lap, that's a long lap. Mind, it's going to take about 1 minute 40, 1 minute 50, depends on how quickly they take it. And let's just make sure they get them all weaving there. Apart from, I think that is number 15 there. That must be a Big Kid Daddy, I think. Just going doing an old Kimmy down the straight, not even weaving, nothing there. Top 2 already, you can see them pulling that gap there, so they're wanting to go quite quickly. And that's forcing the rest of the field to speed up against them, and this is a situation that can always happen, because they'll all speed up, then it'll all slam on the brakes, and then can sometimes come the issues of them all getting a bit too close and bunching up too dramatically. Luckily, look, I think they've all got away with it. This time, one Carlo didn't, because they're on the grass. And I think that might have been kinda. Yeah, it was kinda, I think it was, or that might have been JR on the grass. A little bit there, so they're being a little bit closer right now to the hairpin, where we might see some contact making, a bit of close action there between Scold and Lim right now, who is right down there at P8, middle of the pack. We are missing one driver, of course, that is Archie, who could not make it today, unfortunately. So he will miss out on the final race of the season. Apart from that, we've had almost a full grid, 90% of the races, and that is a great ratio to see. So Kaiser, he's going to be running away with this if he can, especially because he's got all the quick drivers quite down the back of the field, and that is going to be important. But remember, in these races, it's 27 minutes, I think, give or take 20 minutes and about 20 seconds before we get going. Camo there has gone off the road on the formation now. He's going to drag gravel all over the circuit, and that is an ideal, especially when these tyres are going to be bottom cold. They're going to be freezing. Here we go then. They're going to start running 2x2 then, so Kaiser will be on the right. Then we got kinda on the King on the left. I believe it should be the opposite way around, if I'm not mistaken then. So they're all flashing the lights then. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Kaiser should be on the other side of the grid there, but he's on the inside. Either way though, here we go. Let's get ready to go before this race then. So 2x2, we're going to see contact at the start of the race. They all got themselves caught up this time around like Donington. And we are ready to go then, and away they go then. Good start immediately there from Kaiser. Beautiful start for him then. We got Camo, and then everyone else runs himself down towards turn 1. We're going to see cars making mistakes this time around. I think they all get through turn 1 cleanly, and that is the crucial thing then. Down turn 1, 2 cars going wide. They come down towards, one car goes off there. I think Vectro's had another one. Yes, he has. Vectro's made a mistake. He's been caught up there, and that is with OS Limbs and Gia at the back. And I thought for a second they would get themselves all off the grid, and they've done it again. Here in the second race then, they've made a mistake. And now they come down towards the hairpin for the first time then. Kaiser leads, Camo leaves from Kingma, JR. Then we've got Kinder, then we've got Skull backing away. They're all bunching up then. Skull has a look up the inside of one car, we might have the inside of two. Are we going to see them all coming through then down towards the hairpin? I think they've all got through towards the hairpin cleanly this time around then, so good stuff for all of the drivers then. Down the back, look, Vector caught out again in this race. OS Limbs as well as Gio, and Vector is going to be livid. JR, look, currently P3 then. Good start for him right now. Skull as well up to P5 right now. Challenging P4 around the outside of Kingma then. Kingma right now as Skull loses the rear end a little bit there, so be careful. Now he's going to be swamped down to P6 as Jornet up to P6. Where's that come from? Round the outside into P5. He's lost it. He's out of control. And he's killed it on the island. Now he's done that. One car off as well in the background. I think that might have been Ethan, or it might have been Wolf going wide there. Jornet almost dropped it. That would have been an aeroplane crash there. The 830 almost became not an 830. He loses again. He's lost it, and again he's almost out of control. He's got no grip on the tyres. These tyres are cold. They've got no grip, and then you can see him pushing to the inside. Forces Archil to go around the outside if he can, and that there, very aggressive manoeuvres there. He pulled straight back across him there, down towards turn 1 and 2. Gio in the pit lane as they all pass the slower car there. That must be Kinder then. They all pass him. Easy stuff there. Archil, Jornet again got no grip in these tyres. They are cold as ice, and they're going to be willing to sacrifice anything they can to win this race, because Camo leads from Kaiser. He's got a bad start then, so he's down to P2. They're 2 seconds ahead of JL. There we go then. So EPR going to battle this time when with Jornet up the inside. He'll come then. He'll squeeze him wide. He won't allow him to come to the inside then, so he'll cover the inside line, just squeeze him wide on the exit. Does exactly what he needs to do. Does exactly the point of the exit then, does not allow Jornet to get a cut back. 2 guys in the pit lane right now. Back and Big Kid Daddy right now, and now he lost Bax as well. He's retired from the race with contact already on the first lap of this feature race with 24 minutes to go. Jornet right now, P5, battling around with Archie, but Cameron leads this race right now for 4/10 seconds from Kaiser. JR, Archie trying around the outside there, one car wide in the background, they're going to see for a massive crash there for Ethan, he's into the wall, and I think there was either Ranrod or was at the curbs, but either way he is in the wall, and that is going to be surely damage there, unless somehow he got away with that one. I will be gobsmacked if that was not damage to that car. Wolf battling away there with Scolders. Many going on. We've got a car having a fit in the pit lane. It's all going on here in this race. That there is a light so for all the drivers down to turn 1. Somehow, out of this, I don't think Ethan's got much damage. If he does or doesn't, that's a different matter. Wolf battling away here as he's trying up the inside there of Kinda. I think that was that Scold up the inside there. It was Scold passing King Mud actually, that who's going a bit slow right now. He's dropping backwards ever so slightly right now. As they are battling away. Now Wolf will have the slipstream, will have the opportunity to come up the inside right now, and I think he'll do so pretty easy right now then, so he won't put up too much of a fight. I think he's already slinging himself up the inside. What's up for Scold? He's just ahead of him there. Gets through quite easy there. Jornet's made a mistake meanwhile, because he's dropped down from P4 down to P, well, it's just going to be, yeah, he's down to P4 right now. He's in P3. Now he's to P4, battling away now with JR, and he'll go back up the inside if he can lay it on the brakes. How he gets the inside line there, I do not know. I must say, though, Scott even let it on the brakes, so definitely proves to me that JR has no grip in that car. And these drivers struggling with grip out there massively, and on top of that grip, there goes Camera in the wall. And that there is not what he wanted to see, is that Ethan now behind Vectro, so surely I think Ethan might have something, some damage or something, hard to know. Again though, Vectro struggling as well as King, as well as Wolf. Every one of these drivers struggling. Scold just about keeping on the island. Kaiser leads from Archil, leads from Jornet, JR, Scold, Wolf. That is the battle there for P4, 5 and 6. They're off the road, they all go actually, so pushing hard in the pit lane. Do apologise for all the viewers there for the athletic fit there is in the background. That's Wolf battling away with Scold. Scold just ahead of Wolf right now. Wolf gets through, I think Scold. Now it's a challenge off in the background there. One car going completely flat off the road there, so that'll be a penalty for King there. Scold back up the inside of Wolf, and they get a bit close there. The number 8 battling away with the number, I think that might be the number, let's see, it was the number, insert number, but Skull there in the number 8 doing a beautiful job right now. He's currently in P5 ahead of Wolf right now. He's going to try and come back in the number 28 then. Up the hill, down they come towards the hairpin then. Skull will have the inside line. Kaiser up front gets a penalty. That's crucial for him. That's not what he wants there. At the inside goes Skull. Now does he get the corner done in then? Can Wolf get the cut back? Can't do it. Behind them, King gets forced out wide a little bit there. He locks up. Vector coming through to P7 right now. Ethan's going to be the next car to come through into P9 right now. Kinda, Limbs, Geo, and there is Camera off the road, and where is he, I must say? And oh my, that's not good there. That there is a horrible accident. My cameras have got stuck. There we go, let's get them changed. That isn't good there. We now got 2 retirements and 2 spinning cars in the pit lane. That could cause issues if any of these drivers pit, by the way, because remember, they might get stuck in their pit boxes due to that. But Jornet, Archil, Kaiser, top 3. They're all separated by 4 seconds. They are 8 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Scold, Wolf, Vectro. Then we got King and then Ethan behind. And Ethan should make light work. Then the number 27, the same number Gil Villeneuve used for most of his career, as well as Ferrari, up from 82 all the way to 1995. The number 27 synonymous with them. Ethan's taken the number 27 out for a spin today and is doing relatively good right now, coming through the field after that mistake. I believe he must have got on the curb or something. We'll never know. But either way, we've got the battle on right now. We've got Vectro in P7, Scold in P6, and Wolf in P5. And Wolf doing a good job right now, I must say, holding these positions off right now, and he's catching a little bit of JR right now. But saying that, JR is quicker than all these drivers. Vectro quicker, is the second quickest driver, third quickest driver on the circuit right now, if I'm not mistaken as well. But 143.5, Ethan last lap of 143.6. So everyone getting very close together, and these cars ahead of them are lapping 2 seconds a lap slower right now, as Wolf is rather stuck behind JR right now as they come down towards the Mercedes-Benz arena. Up the inside comes Wolf then. let on the brakes, and now he can lift off the brakes, and there he behind you can see Wolf and JR, and there is Skull trying to come through, and he gets one, he might get two. Round the outside comes Skull. That'll be brave stuff there. Hard to do, and he'll be squeezed a little bit right now. Wolf's going to give him the space. Surely not round the outside. That'll be brave. That'll be very brave. They'll make contact with the contact side by side. You get to squeeze them now. No way up the inside. Covers the... Oh, no! Contact! Wolves ran into the back, or Skull's ran into the back of him. They make contact. Somehow they survive. And now Skull's going to lose one. He might lose two. It's here onto the curb. Over he goes. He almost flips it. Skull just about kept that on the island there. And that almost was a huge accident there. Vector is going to be trying to capitalise on this. Even behind their fly, King's just dropped the face of the earth as Skull and Vector battle away there. JR's and Vector, so to say JR off the road and don't do himself any favours there. But that almost could have been an aeroplane crash. Scold, and look at this train of cars. And this is opportunity lab. Ahead of them is EPR Racing Archer. Now he's dropped off the pace right now. He's got no pace in that car. And whatever reason that he's made a mistake, hard to know. He's going backwards. Vector, I think, having a look up the inside of JR right now. Indeed he is. Now they're on the brakes. What's out there as they come towards this hairpin? Very difficult stuff. Get through. JR1's wide. This might allow, even if he's close enough to come through. No, he's a bit too far back right now as they come down towards him. The Mercedes Cake. JR tries around the outside. Won't do it this time. Vector will cover him a little bit. But he's got the room. He's got the position. He's gone through. Now Vector again around the outside. JR almost slivers off there as Vector covers him a little bit right now. As they come down towards the back of the circuit, down towards Mobile 1. Ethan getting caught out right now as JR going slowly. As here they come through then, 2x2, JR's going to get himself right caught up in the middle of this then. Ethan wants to come through. JR goes wide, he's lost all grip on that car. And Ethan slivers up the inside like a snake into the Schatz curb then. Gets through position quite easily right now. Scold and Wolf battling again. Here on lap number 8 right now of this what will be 20 lap race. You believe 12 laps to go in the background there. One car lagging horribly there. As don't know what that was, I don't know who that was there. But Wolf, Scold, Vector, Ethan, Jill. That is currently the battle for P4, 5, 6 and 7 right now. They are catching up very quickly to Arch as well. Last up 150 compared to a 143, a 142 as well. And remember, Skull right now has got the pace compared to all these drivers. He is currently the 3rd, 4th quickest driver on the circuit right now. He's got the pace of 142.4. Compare that to the leaders of 142.0 and a 141.3 for Johnette right now. But remember, the leader has a penalty. Let's have a look at the penalties as well. 2 seconds for your race leader, 1 second for Vector and Ethan Double V, respectively, with their penalties. Skull battling away with Wolf right now. And this is the great battle we've seen so far in this race for what is P4 and 5. $15 minutes to go here in Hockenheim. 15 minutes of action, 15 minutes of drama still to come, and still the battle between Skull and Wolf brewing hot. And you might see in the background, I think that might be OS limbs without a front headlight there, so that'd be problematic for him. Skull, now he's closing back up again. He wants to try and get the position done ASAP still, because remember, Wolf kind of holding Skull up a little bit right now in this race. As they come down towards the back of the circuit, again, Skull trying to make the positions, trying to find the gap right now. And the question is, where is the opportunity to try and come through here? And you've got to wonder, turn 1 is an opportunity, but it's a risky and audacious one. So, best opportunity probably down to turn 2 into the hairpin. I'm going to get the exit here, and then he can get himself done. But he gets on the curb, drags himself off the road, and, well, that is not what Skull really wanted to do. He could have had an opportunity down to turn 2. Rather ruined it there, and he can still close up. Now, Wolf's going to have to slightly cover him there as Skull turns his headlights off and on, flashing a little bit right now, so he's giving himself a little bit of a psychological advantage, you might say, there down the straight. Behind them there, we got Vector. He's about 1 second off, and then these guys behind all second apart as well. Now, Skull's going to pull to the inside now. He thinks about the inside line. He's forcing Wolf to make mistakes. Wolf slows himself up perfectly low. And now, here we go, then Skull thinks about the exit, loses the rear end though. And again, cannot do it. On board we go with Skull. Now he needs to make the position done, he needs to do it ASAP. He's doing a brilliant job, mind, of trying to battle right now. He's doing a brilliant job to attack, and now he's doing a brilliant job as he loses the rear, almost spins it. And he's doing brilliantly still, he's still trying. Round the outside then, down towards Mobile 1. Contact a little bit on the left, contact on the right. Now Scott on the outside, there'll be a brilliant opportunity if he does it. Round the outside, can he do it? Squeezes himself wide, Wolf holds the line though. And now we've seen these guys collide here before. Don't do it again. They do survive again this time around, but Scott almost loses it. But nonetheless, brilliant driving for Scott, brilliant defending from Wolf. But who's going to be the driver to drop it first? Up front, it is Kaiser leading now Jornet by only 1.7 seconds. Then we've got Archil, then we've got Wolf, Scold, Vectro, Ethan. Behind them we've got JR, King, and then we got Kinda, then we got Gio, then we got BKD, then down the back we've got Big Kid right down the back. He's having a torrid time of this race so far. Down on the brakes. Skull loses the rear a little bit right now, so he's being a bit cautious, doesn't want to spin the car. Behind them as well, we've got Vetro catching up pretty quickly right now, so Vetro catching all the time then, so Vetro suddenly got the position to try and come through. Here comes Skull then, battling on the inside, switch ramp, through, contact, 1, 2, 3 cars, 3 by 3, this is not good boys. Back off Vectro, there he does decide to back off there, goody go. That could be problematic. Now Wolf and Skull battling still side by side down towards the corner. Whoa, there's almost contact, there's almost contact. Now through goes one. Wolfie, Skull goes too deep, he runs wide, now he's back on it. And I think Vectro's going to get it, yes, Vectro through, down into P5 right now. Skull, he went too deep, and he lost position. And that there is crucial. He flashes the line once, he flashes it twice. He's trying to unsettle his rival, he loses it! Right in the front of him, right on our camera screens. And somehow he keeps it. And how did that not end in contact there? Vectro sliding these cars through the corner. And these cars, remember, have got no grip, as I for some reason go a bit Scottish there. Either way, Wolf, Scold and Vectro, brilliant battling between these three drivers. They almost lost it. Up front, meanwhile, Jornet's got that gap down to 1.6 seconds. He is leading this race, remember, on the penalties. They are 8 seconds clear. And then 17 seconds clear, ahead of Wolf in P4. So come down towards the hairpin, down towards the second corner. Now, down towards what is now the hairpin. Technically, there's almost 2 hairpins there. You almost could call that a hairpin in some essence. Sometimes they do. But now they come down the parabolica then, which is called curve, apparently, in Italian or some language. I'm not too certain. Vectro mentioned it earlier on to me. But nonetheless, Vectro's going to try and challenge Scold right now. So Scold's going to have to cover that outside line unless Vectro can slip right up the inside there. A bit too late on the brakes there. Scold still challenging Wolf right now. That's a battle for P4 and 5. And these two doing a good job nonetheless for their respective battles. As Skull trying to come through. Vectro P6 right now. Wolf still P4. Archil ahead of these guys by quite some margin now. They're about 3 seconds behind a few laps ago. Now they're 10. And Skull and Vectro both made a mistake there or something, because they were both very compromised there. Because Ethan's caught up massively all of a sudden. Now he's right behind them there. Is Vectro weaves a little bit right now. I don't know if he's got any damage or he's got cold tires or he's struggling there, because he's got no grip into Mobile 1. And you've got to wonder, potentially, had those tyres started to go. Wolf mentioned it, these tyres are cold. They're going to be cold this race. And you've got to wonder, are they at their lowest point right now? Are they cooling down? Or are they getting no heat into these cars? Remember, they're not the quickest things in the world. They produce quite a lot of grip. Remember, they're very basically little Ferrari LMP1 car, the LMP900 Ferrari. I think it's a 333 SP if I'm not mistaken that. But they're very, very grippy cars in some cases. But remember, they rely mainly on the aero more than anything else. These cars do sometimes have a tendency just to lose the rear end randomly, just like that. Vectro proves it there as he loses the rear end so slowly on the brakes. Nonetheless, slow. Skull currently in P5, Vector in P6. Behind them, Ethan in P7. Behind them, we've got a battle potentially growing between Kinda and that must be King. So, King and Kinda battling together. Meanwhile, up front, Jornet going for the race lead. And this there should be an easy opportunistic overtake then. Round the outside, can Jornet do it? Long way round, he's going to try and prove the critics wrong. How this driver can make their overtake works. Now he has the opportunity on the inside, can't do it there, then has to back off the opportunity this time around. Cannot get the opportunity. Skull right up behind Wolf, though Vector and Ethan together as well. And these guys all battling together there for P4, 5, 6 and 7. Up front, still the battle 2/10 of a second. And doing brilliantly, I must say, is Jornet. He's got that gap down. He's trying to battle for the lead in the remainder of this race. Remember, 8 minutes to go of this race, and they don't want to have problems. They don't want to have issues. This is a crucial, nitty-gritty part of the race where we're just coming to the end of it. Now, through, we got this still battle going on here, but let's have a look at the top two, because here we go then, 3/10 a second. Now, I mentioned this earlier on when Ethan was battling with Limbs. If you get within that 3/10 window, you've got a massive opportunity to overtake, and Jornet's going to easily come through. I don't think Kaiser's going to have too much battle in him. As here we go, oh, he's a bit himself on the grass there, Jornet there. He also on the inside line, he's going to get it. Down the inside he goes, down the brakes. Can he get the car stopped? Yes he can. Can Kaiser get the exit? Yes he can! As they both go off, the two leaders have hit each other. Oh my goodness me, the two leaders going off the road. Jornet's lost it, and they both go off, and all of a sudden Archie leads the German Grand Prix out there. And the worst possible moment, Jornet loses the rear, spears into the side of Kaiser. He must have damaged of that one. And what can you say? Jornet there lost it on the curb, or he just drop kicked it out and spun it, the number 830, into the middle of the field. Luckily for them, they had the margin ahead. They had 8 seconds ahead of Kaiser, who now leads this race mind, and that there, shocking. Jornet lost it on the curb. He got too quick, he got too greedy. He put the power on, thought he could do it, he thought he had the grip and lost it. Now behind Wolf, Skull, Vector and Ethan. They want to be careful as well, because they probably know right now that these cars are very loose, and especially if cars going off there. I think someone else goes off with that Skull going a little bit wide. I think that was going off the road, and just so I mentioned they're loose and sliding. One of them, or I think that might have been Vector. Who knows which one they are? They've all got very similar liveries. It's very difficult to keep track of them. But nonetheless, one of them ran wide. It's great to see these 4 drivers all together. Hopefully they stay together and none of them fly off into a wall, because that would be bad. I mean, if you bet money on who's going to possibly make a mistake, well, who knows? We've seen a few drivers make mistakes today, especially Jornet, the championship leader and potential winner, has made a mistake already. He spun the car, especially into Kaiser, who was doing a brilliant job in P2. Remember, these drivers are all still together right now. Archie battling together with Kaiser. I think there's a possibility for Kaiser just to come back through. I don't think Archie's a bit too much of a fight if they can get close together. Because remember, Kaiser's got that much more pace right now. Down towards the hairpin. Skull closing right up. And I did mention, don't make contact. And Skull has almost ruined the back of Wolf there. Doesn't want to do that too hard. Wolf's not very good to be rear-ended. As Skull there and Vectro behind them, Ethan there. A little further back, he's just dropping off a little bit right now. Probably just saving his tyres, realising if these guys are all taking each other up, I can get 3 positions in the price of 1. And that is a pretty good thing to do. 5 minutes to go in this race right now. Top 2, Archie, Kaiser. 3rd position, Joe now for that spin. Wolf, Scold, Vectro, Ethan. Then we got JL, then Kinda, King, Pinky Daddy, and Geo down the back. Vectro, a penalty there. Let's have a quick check on the penalties then. 1, 2, 2, and 3 there. So, 3 drivers with penalties there. 1 second for Archie, 2 for Kaiser. 2 as well for Vector, and 3 for Ethan as well. So that is going to be a bit heartbreaking. So track limits, of course, on this circuit is probably one of the hardest on the game. You tend to get a lot of penalties. It's not as hard as, say, some other circuits, but it's definitely easier to get them. Because of the nature of the circuit, you really can't lose them very easy. Still, though, Wolf, Skull battling together right now, and Skull needs to be within that 3/10 window to make the opportunity down towards the hairpin. He's got 2 temps right now, so that's going to mean that Wolf's going to have to really cover the inside line. So Wolf's going to have to go all the way to the right-hand side of your screen, and they can see that, thinking about it, Wolf's Skull there. He thought about getting that inside line. And now Wolf's done exactly what he's doing. Now he can just about let Skull go ahead ever so slightly, lend a squeeze and wide on the exit, not fight it too hard and then run too deep, which he does do there as Skull runs to the back of him for good measure and forces his way through that way around. So I think possibly though that Wolf's still on the outside line. I think he is. And these two side by side. Oh, they make contact into the corner. And they're still going side by side, rubbing down towards. They come. Skull trying to get the cut back now. Around the outside. Can he do it? A little bit opportunistic there. Around the outside. He won't do it. Surely not. He run himself out of road. He's round the outside. But he is out of grip there. They're free abreast nearly. As Vectro thinking about the outside line there. And surely not. They can't go free. Right. His Skull goes around the outside. Can he hold the line? Vectro's trying to think of position, but Wolf still holds the line. Now at the inside goes Scott. He runs too deep though. Can he get the car stopped? Yes, he can. Oh! Off! Blows Wolf. He's lost the rear. And now he goes flying sideways. Now he's ruined the opportunity to come back over the curbs. Flies the car airbound. And it's gone from bad to worse. As Scold now lies P4. Vectro P5. The two teammates now in the battle for P4 in the championship. Pan on a rival, I might say, as they used to be called, now are going for the same piece of tarmac, P4 in this race. Up front, Jornet now with that damage presumably on the car, looks less likely to win this race. Scott and Vector now battling together behind them, Ethan and Wolf. Wolf right now calls off that spin, put himself out of contention there of P4 right now, unless these two take each other off. And that's always a possibility. Anything can happen there. Skull trying to cover off Vector now is so slightly there. Squeeze him all the way to the inside. But Vector, he should have the overspeed. Then up the inside he'll come then. Brace late. Skull will have the outside line. He'll try to cut back. And again he rear ends the car there. So Skull getting a little bit, likes the rear end of cars. Likes the rear tailpipe, might you say, there down towards the corner. He's a very feisty one sometimes. But, he likes to rip, and he's going to taste it as hard as he can then. Now he's going to come back through. Vector led him back through there, so hard to say why Vector led him through. He had the position there, so and there's Vector felt that wasn't a fair opportunity, a fair overtake, but nonetheless, Scott flashes light saying thank you very much, sunshine. I'll have P4 for now, because Vector, he's got the penalty, that might be why. I think Vector's got the penalty. They know right now if they battle, they might lose a position, but anything can happen. Right now, Wolf is currently himself in P6 right now as, oh, they've passed each other again. So, well, never mind then. So, this is switch and sram right now as Skull gets back past by Vector. As Vector is through, as Skull may have made a mistake. I don't know. Oh, there goes Ethan off the road. And that's not good. That's a new line through there, Sonny Jim. And that's very wide. That's those curbs for you. And getting on them as the light show begins to illuminate through turn 1 and 2. Ethan, I think, got on the curb there, dragged himself out wide, and we know how aggressive those curbs are, especially at that last corner. Scold still battling away with Vectro. Vectro, remember, with a 2-second time penalty. So either way, Vectro should be behind. Scold should possibly be behind Wolf as well. So unless Scold wants to drop behind him, try and force Wolf backwards for the sake of helping his teammate, well, that could be a possibility. I don't think that's going to happen, however, because here we go, up the inside on the brakes. Vector will give him the room, though, will give him the space. They know their teammates, they don't want to take each other off, and fair play to him there. Vector is going to finish most likely in P6 in this race. He's going to come back at it, look up the inside, down towards the corner, that'd be brave, and Scold backs off there a little bit right now as well. Meanwhile, top guys coming through the back of the circuit right now. Archil somehow is going to win this race. Through he comes. Top of the circuit, down through the Schatz curb, down towards the last corner. He's done all he needs. Through he comes then. EPR racing Archil through the last corner. He will win this race on the penalty, remember, because he's only got one behind him, he's got two. And across, oh my dear God, oh well, he's dead there. Well, that's not gone well, Sonny Jim. He's upside down into space. Vectro, is he going to finish in P3? He's going to finish in P4. Sorry, they have worked together then. So Vector's going to finish P4 then. He's going to do it. Vector's going to finish P4. I think Skull just dropped behind to finish P5 then. They just about might have done that into perfection. Oh, well, there's been a death there. Skull's killed himself there. Everyone's been killed. Decapitation there. Oh, my God, everyone's dead. There's 4 cars upside down. There's a corpse on the circuit. And that has not gone well. It's all gone catastrophic here. JR's going to finish in P8. Kinda P9. Big Kid Daddy should finish P10. King's going to finish. Oh, King and Geo battling together still in this race. Geo and King. King's just ahead of Geo right now. So Geo at the back of the circuit, they're battling together. My voice is shot, by the way. But Geo down on the brakes, down towards the hairpin, then down towards Scott's curb. Now, I think King might just have this here, unless Geo can surprise everyone on this last corner, not be upstaged by the newcomer. For the last corner, can he do it? I don't think so. I think just about King's going to get it then. And yeah, King is just going to get P11 in this race. Geo, P12. My voice hurt. That was fun. But
Yeah, it was.
everyone got through then. So Vectro, P4. Vectro, brilliant job for him. Skull, P5. Wolf, P6. And Ethan, P7. So Skull there worked out kind of like you wanted there. Just managed to give Vectro a gap there. Was that your plan?
I was gonna give him a gap so we can get it on Wolf, but I ended up losing 2 seconds to it. So, but oh well.
Lost a rear rev then, as well as Skull commentator cursed you a little bit there. And so you're doing well, and you immediately spun nearly. So, perfect timing there as well. Vectro, P4 at the end. Your best results so far for this season, if I'm not mistaken. How did you find that, Len?
I got a 2nd place in the 2nd race in Brands Hatch before. Anyway, yeah, 4th position was bar that the best I had. I want to thank Scald for actually. I was like,
Yeah,
well, how are you gonna do it? I was behind you, and you made a small mistake, and then I went in front of you again, and it was a bit.
Yeah, you
tricky.
finishing in front of me wasn't the plan, but you're welcome.
Ah, okay. I actually thought you slowed down on purpose for me, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I did.
well.
Yeah, I did.
Ah, okay.
I
Yeah.
slowed down so I can. Yeah, it's on stream. Never mind. We'll
Yeah.
discuss it in a minute.
Well, great, thank you, and good racing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Wolf finished behind Scold and
Again.
as well again. How did you find it out there?
It was a fun battle, but I was having big issues with the brakes. The moment I hit them, into every corner they locked up. So I had to brake a lot earlier as well, which just allowed Skull and Vectro to keep closing that in every time they made a mistake, because I just couldn't push the car as much. But it was fun, and then I got caught out of the curb, and that half spun me, but it was a good race though, it was a good race.
Yeah, as well. And to Ethan right now, had a few spins as well in that. Take us through that crash into Mobile 1.
Only one spin. Lewis just got unsettled in front of me, and that unsettled me because obviously, you know, him spewing all his dirty air at certain speeds is enough to make the car get unsettled. Went into the gravel, and then the transition between the gravel and the grass just was enough to make the car spin out. Hit the brakes. I hit the brakes to try and get the car stopped, but then it managed to hit a wall. I mean, the fact is, the damage wasn't enough to actually cause major issues. Yeah, I got rear suspension damage, but it was mainly the aero that was just letting me down. If I didn't get aero damage, the car would have been fine, because the car was driving like it normally should. It was just the straight line speed was down by like a couple of miles per hour. So yeah, the spin didn't really matter, really. It's just the aero damage was enough to hamper the straight line speed, because otherwise I still would have been able to fight with, you know, Skull, Vector and Wolf. You know, I was able to keep up, but it was just that straight line speed that just kept me from them.
Indeed, as well as we have official news, by the way. Jornet is the champion then. So Jornet has been crowned champion today then. As well,
decided the race 4.
I think it might have been decided the race before, but it is now officially confirmed. He is the champion then. But moving on though to next week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, GT3 starts, unless I'm very much mistaken.
No, 2 weeks time.
In 2 weeks' time, GT3 starts.
Imola.
At Imola, the circuit that has happened to have a lot of drama and accident as well. But bad accident as well in GT3 racing as well. But until then as well, for all of us then in this crazy, hectic and brilliant season, I have been Evil Dragon, your commentator. I shall see you for GT3 and the Endurance League, and also tomorrow as well for the GT Sport Super Formula as well. Until next time, whenever I see you here on this beautiful channel of AOR, I've been Evil, everyone's been everyone. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.